What is happening, everybody? I got a microphone in my shot. Sorry about that. I am Sean McLaughlin, Options Sean on Twitter X. This is the options trade of the week. Usually, my man JC is with me, but he and Steve Strazda are in Pennsylvania, supposedly working. I don't buy it, but anyway, I'm flying solo. Hope that's okay. We're going to go through the trade that we kind of came up with today during our analyst meeting. We have an analyst meeting every Wednesday morning, and we kick around some ideas. And look, I told the guys, and I'm a broken record. Anyone who's been listening to me talk for the last 2 months knows that directional bets have just been very hard in this market. Bullish or bearish, we're in a sideways sloppy tape, and stops just keep getting hit. And even if a stop doesn't get hit immediately, it seems like any position I'm holding that is showing red eventually gets stopped out. So I'm very hesitant to put on directional bets. That said, I'm not putting a directional bet on today, but we are putting a trade on to Microsoft. So Microsoft announced earnings yesterday after the close. The stock gapped up pretty significantly. But if you've been watching the market today, Microsoft has pretty much spent the entire day retracing yesterday's or this morning's gap. Now we're still positive on the day based on the difference between the current price now versus the closing price yesterday. Yes, Microsoft is still up, but an intraday chart, it's been doing nothing but trade down all day, which is not surprising. The overall market has been trending down. So if nothing else, the market is leaning on Microsoft. But more importantly, my takeaway of the price action following the earnings report for Microsoft is that neither bulls nor bears were convinced to change their mind. Whatever feelings they have about Microsoft, no one has changed their mind. They've dug in. And I feel like today's trading action coming back towards the range that Microsoft has been in for the past little while is just further proof that we're still in for some more sideways slop. Now, yes, earnings are out of the way, but options premiums are still pretty elevated. So there is good opportunity to sell premium in Microsoft options. And normally, when a stock like Microsoft, a big cap stock that doesn't have significant downside or significant gap risk, especially now that earnings are out of the way, I would normally look to put on a short strangle to express a sideways bet, right? So I would sell a naked put and sell a naked call. I'm fine selling a naked call here. I am not, however, fine selling a naked put. I just feel like this market right now is it's hanging on a ledge. I'm not saying we're about to crash or that the market's going to go down another 5% from here, but it absolutely could. And therefore, I'm not willing to make the bet that it won't. How's that sound? So I'm going to protect the downside. So with Microsoft, we started out by coming up with a trade, and I'll put the chart up here, or the P&L graph. Selling a strangle, selling the 310 puts and the 360 calls, that's fine. I'm doing that, but I'm also going to purchase a 300 put to protect the downside. I'm doing this in December options, okay? And at the time I put this trade on, I collected about $550 to put this whole spread on. I think you can get a little bit more now. If you can get more, great. But I'm basically doing the strangle, but protecting the downside in case the bottom falls out of this market. You know, there's a lot of news out there, a lot of scary headlines. Stocks just look like in general they want to sell off. So I'm protecting my downside on Microsoft. For the calls to get tested on the upside, Microsoft would have to go back and trade to all-time highs. I'm not saying it can't be done, but I feel like in this market environment right now, I'm willing to bet that Microsoft will not make new all-time highs, at least for the next 4 or 5 weeks, which is really all we need. All we need is Microsoft to stay above 310 or below 360 for the next 4 or 5 weeks, and we should have no trouble earning a profit on this trade. I'm not being greedy. I'm not going to hold this spread all the way until December expiration if I can help it. I'm looking to buy it back for a 275 debit. All right, that's half of what I collected. I collected 550 when I put the trade on. If I could buy it back later on for 275, I will do so. That's my best practice when trading short strangles. This is a little bit of a different short strangle because we've protected the downside. But either way, I want to protect I want to take profits when I can, take the cream off the top. I'm not going to sweat the last nickels and dimes and quarters of this trade. I don't want to hold the risk that long. The more time I give the market to take profits away from me, the more likely it'll happen. Now, for risk management purposes, if Microsoft, let's go back to this chart here. If Microsoft breaks 310, which you can see here on the chart, that's a significant level of support, right? If that level is broken, I want out of the trade. Okay, even though my risk is defined on the downside, I still want out of the trade. My thesis for being in the trade has been broken if we're below 310. I'm not in the business of hoping and wishing it's going to come back. I will cut the trade and I will get out. On the flip side, if Microsoft does rip higher and does take out these highs above 360, I'm also going to close the trade down, likely for a loss, potentially a profit, depending on when it happens. All right. But either way, I'll be looking to exit the trade. So below 310, above 360, I'm out. All right, folks, that's our options trade of the week. I hope you enjoyed that. If you want more information about how to get more options info out of us, shoot us an email, info@allstarcharts.com. Hopefully I'll be back next week with JC. Until then, have a great trading day. We'll see you on the morning show tomorrow. Take care.